What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to, I believe, our fifth or sixth draft on the channel of the big board. Um, this is going to be draft 66 overall on the big board for me. And yeah, we're just jumping right into it. We're pick 108 here. Pick 108 for me is going to be either Amon-Ra or Bijan if I had to guess. I'm definitely Bijan favored. I really want Bijan to fall here. That'd be optimal for my taste, for sure. Amon-Ra's upside is like pretty secure because even if they were hypothetically to bring in someone, is he really going to chew from Amon-Ra? Probably not. Nice. And I think Bijan's ceiling is pretty ridiculous. He was still able to put up 217 with the restraint of Arthur Smith weighing him down his rookie season. So I think pretty much the sky's the limit. And at this point in time, March 7th, Kirk Cousins is currently minus 200 to go to Atlanta. So it's pretty favored Kirk going to Atlanta. I mean, he's moving his whole family out there, so I feel like it's as sure as it can be right now that Kirk is probably going to be an Atlanta Falcon. And I really don't care, honestly. I feel like that's probably, if you had to weigh it, it'd probably be on the better side of things for Bijan because Kirk isn't mobile at all, especially now with one less Achilles. Um, I just can't imagine that being a bad thing for Bijan because I don't know if Kirk has ever had as good of a receiving back as Bijan is. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think he's going to throw to him a good amount. Dalvin Cook was an okay receiving back. Not the greatest. At his peak, he was pretty decent. Dalvin Cook was just always an incredible home run hitter. So even if, I mean, Marvin Harrison going to the 15 before Jonathan Taylor, Devon Achane. What are we doing, people? What are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, it's Jonathan Taylor for me or Devon Achane. I go Achane a lot here, so I like going JT. It's also a little more unlikely, this pairing. So yeah, feel like that. Those sums up my thoughts. We can move on to some other discourse. Marvin Harrison should not be going anywhere near this early in the second round. Like this is ridiculous. This is peak insanity, honestly. It doesn't make sense. Over Jonathan Taylor, over Devon Achane, over Rashid Rice, over Josh Allen. Like Josh Allen going this low is also ridiculous. There are so many better bets than Marvin Harrison. Like, fellas, I'm a pretty big Marvin Harrison fan too. He's pretty disgusting at football. Incredible receiver prospect. On the Cardinals, though? Really? That's where he's projected to go, and we're this all in? Trey McBride is really fucking good. All right? But he's not going to be the problem. The problem is, I think Kyler Murray. His ceiling is so capped with Kyler Murray. Is it not? Maybe I'm wrong, and he can just earn 11 plus targets a game, which is, I feel like, what he would need to be getting. Like, if he's getting 8 targets a game, and that's his like average, that's not going to do it for a second round pick that early or even in the middle of the second round. It might do it at like early third. And obviously, this is all because of the game best ball that we play. We really, in the tournament setting, especially on underdog, are playing for week 17. All this argument stuff that I'm talking about can just get nullified by him scorching the earth through the playoffs, obviously. But that applies to everyone. That's the thing. Like, that doesn't just apply to the rookies. And they obviously turn it up like harder throughout those weeks and are starting to gain more trust. They're similar to better bets, though, is the argument, is what I'm making, you know? So Sam Laporta and Jalen Waddle, we both love here. We're definitely going Jalen Waddle just because we had a double RB start. Going tight end here would be pretty irresponsible, I would say. It's good structure to just get your receivers. And in the big board, I do think it is probably one of the more receiver fragile tournaments that you could potentially target on underdog just due to having 20 draft positions. Also, the rookies not having their landing spots yet has like artificially pushed down their costs so hard. All of them should be going multiple rounds higher, all of them. But just due to not knowing draft capital and landing spot, it has significantly pushed costs down. And there are players that are definitely going like picks 220 after that are going to go in the round 3 up. You know what happens to them. You know what happens to them in BBM5, right? Like that they're going to be at picks 150 plus. So in the big board, you could be getting them if you're talking about picks 150 compared to fucking picks 220. Brother, it's a 6-round difference. You know? It's a pretty big deal. This is I would say a pretty hard tier break for me because I really want to click James Cook here. My heart wants to click James Cook here. My brain is saying T. Higgins because of our receivers not having 2 of them yet, already hitting the 4th round. But we're gonna say fuck it because we're just going James Cook. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. And then we can really get crazy and then go AR if AR makes it back to our pick. That's where we could really get unhinged. If we have one receiver going into round 6, that's I mean, this is already like definitely unhinged. Our one receiver being Jalen Waddle for this type of thing is very nice because he easily can return a 200-point season. Like that should just be his projection, to be honest, already. I don't know why he's projected so low. It doesn't make sense. I guess they're projecting the Dolphins to draft someone, maybe a tight end or a receiver. I doubt they spend capital on that, though. They really just need defense. So their offense is literally solved. Like they have with their pieces right now of A-Chain, Waddle, Tyreek, Tua, and then no discredit to Raheem. He's just getting older. That's a top 5 offense floor in the league in itself. We saw them put up 70 points with that cast. So I would like you get what I'm saying? Like how does Waddle just not get either a bigger role in what happened last year, or B, why the fuck would they add someone? Like, or spend relevant capital to try and add someone. It doesn't make sense. They need help on defense. They clearly need help on defense. And if they need help anywhere on offense, it's their fucking line. And their line already, that's not me taking digs. It's fine. Their line objectively is like fine. But anyway, we are 5 picks away. Josh Jacobs going at the 49. That, I mean, is he confirmed signing with the Raiders now? Let's see. I honestly don't know the current Josh Jacobs situation, but that seems a little unhinged to me. Picking him that far ahead, would he have made it back? Debatably, but there's a lot of good players there, so we're seeing a pretty nasty fall out of Zay Flowers. I don't really, yeah, I don't understand that. Why the Zay fall? Honestly, doesn't make sense to me. All right, one away. AR is up. It's either I really like Jordan Addison too. I really do. AR here though is so spicy. Tua way later is just as probably good. Realistically, we should probably just be setting up to take 2 receivers here. If we want to have I don't know. AR here feels AR there is so fun though. If AR makes it back, we're obviously taking him. Not taking a receiver here does feel again irresponsible. Yeah. So we have Brian Thomas as an option. I'm down to go D Hop. I like Chris Godwin. JSN at pick 65. Debatable. AR we're obviously down with. I do really like Tajay in that spot for what it's worth, but we are not picking Tajay there for obvious reasons. I don't think we can afford to go tight end here. Maybe we can. What am I saying? Not afford? This guy's 5 receivers. Be pretty surprising to see him not go like non-receiver position. Aaron Jones makes sense. Brian Thomas makes sense. Okay, so AR does fall. There's no way we actually can't pass AR. I don't think we can pass AR here. A 10 pick fall for AR is just simply too much, man. AR's upside is insane. AR's upside is insane. And Jonathan Taylor can have easily, in the realm of outcomes, like 250, 300 plus receiving yards to make, like, but, and the thing is Jonathan Taylor doesn't even need to be a good receiving back for them to pay off. If they both can literally just pop off on like alternate weeks and just be incredible, honestly. It's totally in the range of outcomes. So, and I know there's gonna be some discourse. We can talk about finally. I brushed it off. The Jordan Addison pick. Haven't talked about it. I also haven't really talked about James Cook that much. We can get into that too. But the Jordan Addison pick. The offense is currently projected as of right now to be Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, KJ Osborne, Ty Chandler, and then Kirk Cousins is getting out of there. So you already know that they're bringing someone in, whether that is a rookie or trading / signing for someone. There's been some smoke of Justin Fields going there. I think that's a little ridiculous. I don't see an intra-division rival ever going. Like, no way. I mean, maybe if they paid enough, but I just don't see that. But what I think the likely option is for the Vikings is that they're going to draft like a Penix or JJ McCarthy, and then just end up starting them and giving them the keys right away. Because I think that they're NFL ready quarterbacks. And we saw Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson both post wide receiver overall 3+ weeks, JJ being the wide receiver one with Nick Mullins. So I don't think it's really a worry. And people, I've seen some talk. All right. And, and we're actually one pick away. Let's focus on our pick. Yeah, so the receivers, as always, are going earlier than ever. There was a point in time where you could be picking Brian Thomas here a few weeks ago. No funnies, no funnies. Chris Godwin too, no cap. But as always, kind of, we're going Evan Ingram. Okay, so it was either Brian Robinson or Evan Ingram for me. I don't like Ramondre in that spot because in the hypothetical that I don't know. Honestly, like I don't know. We can just talk about Ramondre for some other time. My Ramondre opinions like it's too shaky. I can talk about things more concrete. We're going Evan Ingram over Kyle Pitts because Evan Ingram's target share we already know is locked up. They line him up everywhere. They love using Evan Ingram. Trevor Lawrence loves throwing to Evan Ingram. He had the most tight end targets last year. He's not going to slip out of the tight end targets in terms of top three, even if they bring back Calvin Ridley. Even with Calvin Ridley on the fucking team, he was tight end targets #1 last year. So Evan Ingram, baby. I mean, he should be going higher, objectively. I think Evan Ingram probably should be going like a little ahead of Kincaid. I feel like that'd be fair. What to do with McBride and Andrews is honestly kind of weird. Projecting them is kind of insane. Andrews, if he's healthy, is easy, in that world, but you don't know. You never know. We are pick 89. We see Brian Robinson and Jaylen Warren go off the board here. That is disgusting. This room is pretty sharp because those are two picks that were absolutely slam dunking here. I think that we could just go Jacoby Myers now. The Romeo Dobbs is also a consideration, but I really do think it's just Jacoby Myers here. He's shown that he's just great at football. Like he has produced in pretty awful circumstances multiple times. He's produced with shitty New England quarterbacks, i.e. Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi. We can go down the list of awful players, not relevant. Aiden O'Connell as well is just not good, and Myers produced with him. He's produced. Garoppolo's okay, and he was smashing with Garoppolo. Jacoby Myers was legit a top 12 wide receiver weeks. I think it was 1 through 3, 1 through 4 maybe, with Jimmy Garoppolo. It's hilarious how awful of situations he's been put in his career and how consistent he's able to produce. He's not going to make it back to our pick, and if he did, that would no way. I mean, I just refuse to believe he would have made it back to our pick. So picking him there, I think he's the best receiver option off the board, even against someone like Troy Franklin. No disrespect, but I've just Jacoby Myers. I've seen him do it, so that's why I'm a fan. I've seen him do it. I've seen the talent. 5 picks away. Hmm. We see Tua go to the. Is that the Tyreek person? Yep, makes sense. We see Tua go to Tyreek. We see Love, Franklin, Deontay go off the board. Donnie Mitchell going off the board at 91 in this draft. That is really early. That's the earliest I've seen him go so far for sure. His ADP has crept up to 113, I believe. Let's go to Ritter. It was either 113 or 107. Today it's at 111, so I believe it was at 113 yesterday. That kind of adds up. So we have the chance to pick Josh Downs here, and I feel like that makes a little too much sense for reasons that don't need to be explained if we are best ball fans. But for the non best ball watchers, if this is your first time watching a best ball video and not understanding how the format works, you compete weeks 1 through 14 to then compete in a pod structured tournament, elimination style, weeks 15 through 17. And then you make it to the big kahuna, week 17, if you get lucky enough. And then it's just battle royale style shit. And it's whatever team you have there competes. So in the hypothetical, if you make it there, why would you not want to bet on at least one team having a really good outcome in week 17? Right? Like, why would you want all of your pieces separated? There's a lot more proven in data. You're a lot more proven. Why would you not want to give yourself the best chance, you know? So that's what we're rolling with here. 2 picks away. We are going to be pick 113. We see Jonathan Brooks go off the board. We are praying that our boy does not go off the board here. Please, 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 please. Do not do it. Do not do it. Come on, man. It's actually stressing me out a little bit. It's the good stress, though, because you know he likely is not going to go him. But if he does, it's just like, what the fuck? Dalton Schultz was not our guy. We're going to be going Lad McConkey here for sure. Yup. He definitely ain't making it back to us. And if he, like, in this sharper room, there's no way Lad McConkey's making it back to us, simply. And yeah, Lad McConkey, I've been all in on Lad McConkey pre-combine. At this point, this is, I think, the combine was almost a week ago at this point, so he's been flying up the draft board. We saw him hit a low, like there was some original hype when the big board opened because Winks said that Hayden Winks said that he was a big fan of him, thought he looked really good on film, et cetera, all these great things. So there was a bit of buzz and people taking him. But when there's like not that much talk and buzz going around it, people start picking him or stop picking him as high. So he ended up falling. Dude, he I think started out or we got as high as like maybe like 127, 128, I think, when the big board originally dropped. And then for a solid 2 to 3 weeks, he got down to 140. And like I wonder what my best closing line value on him was. It's going to be interesting to see because he's definitely going to be someone that, looking back on it, I feel like, just an early prediction, I feel like having good closing line value on Lad McConkey relative to his landing spot draft capital is going to end up being like a huge payoff because he's someone with draft capital and landing spot that easily could be going where, like, unironically, Brian Thomas is going with like the right draft capital and landing spot. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but that's like in his range of outcomes, like in terms of talent. I genuinely believe that. So it's not delusion. It's just It's hope. It's hope and belief in what I'm seeing, you know? So that's all it is. That's all it is. Pick 128. This is where you can start getting like funky with it. I like Kendre here. I think Kendre's upside is pretty great. TBH. I think we go Roman Wilson next. I don't know though. And I'm drafting based off of the official full tree fantasy rankings that are gonna be posted in the newsletter, and all of that currently means nothing, but it will mean something in the near future. So keep your eyes open for that. You know, keep your eyes peeled. With the smoke of now Josh Jacobs potentially going back to Las Vegas, I think Kendre is a pretty great option because he ended up taking over last year. For weeks 16 through 18, he was way more efficient than Alvin Kamara, Jamal Williams. So, damn, we just got sniped on Roman Wilson. He didn't snipe us on Lad McConkey, but he sniped us on Roman Wilson. That's it's a new one. It's a new one for sure. Do we go Zamir now? No, it's a joke. It's a joke. Just instantly contradict yourself. I really don't hate Demario Douglas here. It's not crazy. You look at this ADP and you're like, that's insane. And I'm like, it's not crazy. Because New England, right? It's not Mac Jones there. All right. It's not gonna be fucking Mac Jones. We know that. They are projected to get either Drake May or what I think is more likely, Jaden Daniels. If they by all means go some other route and bring someone else in, sure. But there's no option D of them not bringing someone in. That's the thing, right? And Demario Douglas proved that he's a capable receiver last year. And he's clearly the best of the bunch there. And obviously, they're probably going to be drafting a receiver. I don't deny that. But Demario Douglas, in terms of relative talent compared to the rest of the people there, the only person that could potentially maybe be better than him on the football field as of right now is Kendrick Bourne. Okay? And personally, I don't believe that's true. I genuinely think Demario Douglas is a good talent. And if I am thinking that, if I am of that opinion, I want to be walking out of drafts with probably close to like at Demario Douglas's ADP. If I genuinely believe that he's the best receiver on the field for New England, I should be walking out with like 40+% of him in my drafts, if not more, because his ADP doesn't make sense. He's projected to, like, his ADP were to make sense if New England had Mac Jones and Randy Moss on their fucking team. That's when his ADP would maybe make sense, because there'd be someone significantly better than him and someone awful throwing the ball. But that's just not the case. That's not the fucking case. So the Demario Douglas rant. Marshawn Lloyd still on the board. Love him. Jalen Wright. I was a big fan of Jalen Wright, even pre combine. I have a bunch of. I was 9%. I was 9% Jalen Wright on my 60 big board drafts that I did when he was in like the 200s. And looking back, I obviously wish I had a lot more of him because there are players in like the 230s that I have like 50+% of, like Luke McCaffrey and players like that. Marshawn Lloyd's a good pick. Um, Michael Mayer is not a bad pick as well, but I don't love it. I think I like Marshawn Lloyd. I think that's who I want to take here. Someone like got snap picked. Jalen Wright. Yeah. Makes sense. I mean, it's either Jalen Wright or Marshawn Lloyd in that spot. You know, I'm much of both of them. I have a bunch more of Jalen Wright. I mean, I already mentioned that. Holy shit. Okay. Marshawn Lloyd, great talent. Last year, averaged 7.4 yards per carry, which is fucking nuts on 100 plus carries. That's that's not easy to do. And he's a great receiving back, and he's a great pass blocking back. So I coming into the NFL, he is a complete back. So whatever team gets him, they can plug and play him right away. And he's a legit fantasy threat because he can do it all. He's a third down back. He can take a good amount of snaps. Goal line wise, debatable, but I think he has the strength, you know. So we see Mims go off the board. It's a little sad. We're big Mims fans over here. Wandale go off the board too. Also big Wandale fans. Don't care as much for Bucky Irvin. I still am picking him somewhat because, especially now, I think I'm waiting a bit on Bucky Irvin at this point in time because I'm still waiting for like the combine fall off. Like people will probably start like piling on the hate soon. I would assume with Bucky Irvin, as they do with most players, just piling on when everyone else starts doing it. My heart wants to pick Audric. My head is telling me like Isaiah Likely or Jatavion. For what I think Audric is, though, I just can't not pick Audric. I just can't not pick Audric in that spot. Like, come on. Come on. Damn. Just got a notification that Cat tore his meniscus. Full. Just got diagnosed. Yeah. Crazy. Crazy. Crazy world, Rip Cat. That's a big blow to T-Bowl season. Damn. Audric is probably one of the biggest fallers from the combine due to his 4.7. If that number ended up being even 4.69, I guarantee people would feel differently. But it's actually like he's getting 99-cent ruled, in my opinion, where it's like, even, dude, like, can you, do you know, are we aware of how negligible of a difference 4.65 to 4.7 fucking 1 is? Like, we're not comparing 4.5 to like 4.35. We're comparing 4.65 to 4.71. And look at Audric Estime. Okay? He's gonna be fine. He like, I promise you he's going to be fine. Like it's honestly, I think it's funny. I think it's funny that people are like this out on him because he runs a 4.7 at the combine. What if that's not even his true speed? What if he runs faster than that? And you're like, oh, what if he runs slower than that? I don't give a fuck. Look at Derrick Henry. Look at fucking Derrick Henry, dude. And obviously Derrick Henry runs a little faster than that, but Audric is the same size, and that man is 20 years old. 20 years old. Okay. So he's got time. and he is like going to dominate the NFL. And he easily could be next year. Easily. I mean, his size is fucking stupid, man. He's going to be a force on the field. I genuinely believe that. Could he be a bust? No. No. Bust proof right here. Guarantee. Audrey Gaston. Hmm. Debatable things to do. I think that JJ McCarthy's pretty safe at 185. I don't think that's in anyone's mind to block that. So, that being said, I think we go Jawan Johnson. Jawan Johnson also does open up the door for Derek Carr. But I do think that we would rather go JJ McCarthy than Derek Carr. Just because of the receiver talent. And Chris Olave is great. I have a bunch of Chris Olave. I think he's even undervalued where he even is right now. But his supporting cast, Rashid Shaheed, I do like as well. But you can't compare them to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, right? You can't compare them. So I think there's more outcomes where we see JJ McCarthy with like a Brock Purdy stat line where it's like he even showed it in college where you're able to throw touchdowns but not get the yards. And I don't care. I honestly don't care. Just get touchdowns, please. Like if you just score touchdowns, that's great for fantasy. That's all I care about. So please. We see a whole lot of names we don't really care about. Malachi Corley, I am, or it. When I was doing my initial film review, or I can focus on that after the pick. Let's focus on the pick. So who goes before us? Malik Washington. He was not on our board, so it's okay. So we already talked about it a little bit. I think we are going to go J.J. McCarthy here. The thing is, do I want to risk pushing him? People really disrespect them, man. They really do. We can try it. We can try it because I really like going Tucker Craft here because I don't know if Tucker Craft, Davis Allen, Hunter Henry, those types